Yo, what's up YouTube gang? I'm JPatz and today we're going to be talking about sample chopping, different techniques you can use to chop samples that I like using myself, as well as just different approaches and ways to thinking about chopping a sample. Let's just jump right into it. Here's the sample that I'm going to be working with. I've kind of broken down chopping into like 6 different ideas that I like to use, so I'll show you how to do each one, and let's just go over what each one is right now. So the first one is loop chopping, which I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with, which is literally just taking like a segment, looping that, pitching it, whatever, and then putting drums on it. The second one is chopping by the beat, so say quarter note for example, you chop every quarter note and then you can play it out that way. The third way is chopping it into small pieces by like drum hits for example, so like kick and snare, and then just playing different parts and making the drums work, but there's also sample chops, so you could get some super creative ideas, and Jay Dilla was a beast with this. Next is chopping by like instruments, say a piano or just chords or bass line, which that could also bring pretty creative and cool results. And that's where it starts getting a little more advanced, and these last two techniques I guess could consider a little more advanced. So the second last one is just doing random chops and then piecing them together and making them work. So maybe you find like a beat from over here, and this kind of goes with the kick and snare chopping, but maybe you find a beat from over here and then 2 beats from over here and then a beat from over there to make like a bar, and that could also get you super unique results. All right, and then the final technique, which is also pretty advanced, is chopping off beat or getting pieces that aren't exactly a full loop. So maybe you got like, I don't know, a bar and a quarter instead of just taking like 2 bars or a bar, or even like a bar and a half, you know, and then piecing that together with another half a bar. So these kind of overlap from the other techniques I was telling you, but it just depends how deep and how advanced you want to get with them. Let's just get right into it. First one I'm going to do is loop chopping. So this sample will be a great loop. So I'm going to just copy this section. I want to loop, and then let's just get it all on beat. And do set 1.1 here. Oops. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to take the first 4 bars of this. Say we wanted to pitch it or whatever. So that's a cool loop where you could just throw some drums on that or whatever, and it could be dope, you know? So that's obviously probably like sampling at the most basic form, and yeah, I don't think we need to get too much into that because you already kind of know. So next we could do chopping by beat count, and there's quite a few ways I like to do this. This is a technique I don't think a lot of people know about, but just chop out a 1 beat section. From here, we want to go loop. Now we want to just duplicate this over, Command D, loop this part. And now I want to just take like a different piece. So say we take this one. And then let's just take like this one. And then take another random one, maybe from like down here. I don't know if this is going to sound good, but basically we just pieced together like 4 different parts that weren't made to go together. So that's one way to get creative, just by like beat chopping. Another way you could beat chop is, let's just get this back. You could go create MIDI track. For me, it automatically creates a sampler, but I'm actually going to convert this to a simpler just by right-clicking at the top there. Then let's drag this in. And we already know we have a 4-bar section selected, right? So another thing a lot of people don't know is that you can warp inside of a simpler. Look, it's already picking up that that's 4 bars. So I'm just going to click 4 bars, slice, and then do slice by beat, and now you could change the intervals. Let's just say we keep it quarter note. that's another way I like doing it in Ableton. Then I'm going to show you a way in Serato Sample for all the people that don't use Ableton. So what's cool about Serato Sample is that there's also an auto chop feature in here. So if you go find samples, set slicer, it'll bring up the auto chop and you could change how much you want it to chop by. Sometimes it doesn't get this perfectly on. See, it's not right, so I just have to adjust the chops. So you could do the same thing in Serato. And yeah, so that's pretty much 3 different ways you could chop by the beat. Next is chopping by the drums, so like say kick and snare. This would probably be pretty much applied to what I just showed you, so the quarter note chopping. So I don't know, say we just use the simpler way. I don't know, I'm just gonna go in here and find like kicks and snares and just chop by those. So that's another way. If you just like focus on chopping by the kick and the snare or the rim in this case, that could also lead to creative things. So it's just all these different processes and ways of thinking about how you're going to chop a sample before you actually chop it could actually help you formulate some really cool and creative techniques. Next one is chopping by the chords. So let's go half. So you hear how each chop is a different chord. So like, cool, there's a whole nother way. That's just chopping by chords. So we've actually in turn made a whole different chord progression than the actual original song is. So that's another super dope technique. And you can apply that technique to the other things I was telling you, like using it for different instruments or the bass line and following that instead. So if you notice, a lot of these techniques and ideas overlap. It just depends on like the sample and how deep you want to take it, because the next one that I was talking about is random chops and just piecing together different parts. So I don't know, say we took like, I don't even know if this is gonna work, but say we took this beat and a half. So let's put it there. And let's just take like a beat and a half from here. Okay, so obviously that's not a good example. I did it in seconds, and usually like for me, I would like to tactically think about this and really like figure out the pieces I want to piece together and turn into a puzzle, because this is literally like doing a jigsaw puzzle. This is taking parts from different places and making them work, you know? And that's really super dope technique. So that's another way you can approach sample chopping and just making samples unique or of your own. Very similar to this, or basically the same thing, is like chopping off beat or taking pieces from off beat and making them work. So say we got this part and let's figure out another chop. I'm just gonna take a random piece. Hopefully this works, but maybe like that right there. And that right there. And even this, it's going to be on the grid. You might want to zoom in closer and take like a different part, but obviously it doesn't sound good because you got to take the time to do this, but that's pretty much just a little breakdown I wanted to do about different techniques you can use to chop samples. So hopefully there's some good perspective in there that you could apply to your own beats. If you have any questions or comments about this, feel free to drop them below and I'll do my best to get them answered. And let me know if there's anything you want me to try go more detailed into. I try to show you guys in like a quick little video, so hopefully it helped out. And also please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, because it really helps out my channel and just motivates me to make more videos for you guys and share my knowledge. So thanks for tapping in. I'm JPatz. Peace.